I think Donald Trump should resign. And not just because he's corrupt, criminal, or historically bad at the job. He needs time to focus on his true passion, publicly napping. Today at a peace signing event, he literally fell asleep in front of world leaders. Embarrassing, and honestly a little funny given how often it happens. We'll break down how disturbed everyone was. But first, please leave a like on this video and subscribe if you enjoy our channel. Before we get to Trump dozing off, let's start with the tirade he delivered earlier and the slurred mispronunciations that came with it.
Our courageous leaders, great people. President Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and President Kagame of Rwanda. They are amazing people, and they had stories to tell me that were incredible. Really fascinating in so many different ways. Sad and beautiful, both sad and beautiful, and today makes them beautiful.
So, not exactly a strong start for Donald, struggling to get through those names. He always blames the teleprompter instead of admitting he just can't read it. But he sounds exhausted every single day. The slurring, the long pauses, the effort it takes for him to push words out, it's all getting worse. Yet no matter how tired or out of it he seems, Trump always finds the energy to praise one person, himself. So of course, he took a moment to fanboy over Donald Trump.
They were succeeding where so many others have failed, and this has become the 8th war that we've ended in less than 1 year. Such an exciting thing to do. This has been really, because we're talking about 30 years of fighting, 30 years, much more than 10 million lives.
So now we're on the 8th war that Trump claims he's solved, though honestly, it feels like he keeps adding numbers every time he talks about it. Meanwhile, he still hasn't ended the one conflict he promised would be wrapped up on day one. And today, thanks to an announcement from Melania Trump, who, contract or not, seems to accomplish more than he does, we learned that Trump supposedly has no idea what's going on in Russia. Great work from the self-proclaimed deal-maker-in-chief, who remains completely confused. But there is one thing Donald Trump always understands. He wants praise, which is why he made sure to thank Marco Rubio for slapping his name onto a building. The Institute of Peace is now the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace. Absurd, obviously, but Trump still proudly delivered this at the end of his bizarre speech.
A special group of people. A very special thanks as well to Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Marco, please stand. Thank you. And thank you for putting a certain name in that building. I said, boy, that is beautiful. That blew up last night. They said, that's a great honor. It really is. On this building, it's a great honor. Thank you very much. I assume you had a lot to do with that. Just a little bit. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Senior...
Can he ever spend even a single moment focusing on anyone other than himself? Just one moment of maybe shutting up, staying quiet, and not acting like a full-time narcissist. Could we get even that? I think he behaves this way because he knows how weak he is right now. And I always return to that point because it deserves to be highlighted, especially since it infuriates him so much. And for Marco Rubio to recognize that his role as Secretary of State is still to humiliate himself for Donald Trump, constantly thinking, how can I make Mr. Trump smile today? How can I keep our tantrum-throwing child president pleased with me? Oh, I could slap his name on a building. That'll do it. Is just unbelievably stupid and embarrassing. But that is Marco Rubio's job because Donald Trump himself is ridiculous and embarrassing. He kept selling himself as the peace guy, right up until, of course, he nodded off.
Gentlemen are very smart, and I think they liked each other a lot. I spent time with them. I think they like some people may be surprised. I really do. I think they've spent a lot of time killing each other, and now they're going to spend a lot of time hugging, holding hands, and taking advantage of the United States of America economically like every other country does. So they're going to do very well. But they do have some very valuable things. They're going to have a lot of money and a lot of success. And I think they're going to get along really well. So I hope so. Thank you very much.
It is really just difficult to watch Trump parade himself around as the peace guy while trying to beat off the war criminal allegations that him and Hagath are facing down. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that has been the Trump presidency. It has just been exhausting trying to figure out what idiotic direction he is taking this criminal administration. But on the point of exhausting, Donald Trump, as you can see here, and through many moments while the other world leaders at this summit were speaking, he was taking a snooze. This is just kind of his go-to form at this point, is nodding off, taking a little nap, just, resting the eyes a bit. This is our leader. And it's funny considering that Trump still likes to talk so much about Joe Biden. And one of the stories that Donald Trump always brings up is him sleeping at the beach. He says, well, how could you ever feel comfortable in public sleeping at a beach? I'd find it so embarrassing, the cameras and the people in the beach. Now, I would hope and pray to dear God that Donald Trump never takes his shirt off and lays out at a beach within anywhere that I can see, or cameras. I feel like the reflection of the paleness might break the lens unless he also coats his glob body in orange, whatever it is smudge that he puts on. But for Trump to constantly obsess over Biden sleeping at the beach and then to be just fully comfortable doing it at a cabinet meeting or in the Oval Office or at a peace summit. Hats off to you, man. I struggle to sleep on a plane sometimes, and he's just a little taking it's such a long day, just taking a little siesta, going to have to stretch out, going to have to really just, it's tough. It's tough doing nothing all day and watching Fox and throwing ketchup at the walls. I too would be exhausted if that was my life. But Donald Trump, he finds a way. The funniest response to this actually was, I believe it was some idiot on Fox saying that Thomas Edison also was a big believer in naps. And he's like, well, if he didn't take naps, then we wouldn't have the light bulb. Yeah. I don't think Donald Trump is some great inventor or some genius by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm going to go ahead and say no to that explanation for why Donald Trump is falling asleep. Maybe it's just because he's an ailing, old, cognitively declining nursing home patient in the White House. But it really begs the question, who is running things? I think we know the answer. It's Stephen Miller, who was recently told by Pete Hegseth, said that he would never let Stephen Miller kill her. Jesus. True. But Stephen Miller watch his kids. Never let him babysit them. Of which Hegseth has 9 and 8 more illegitimate ones. But why is there that little back and forth? I feel like I'm going off on a tangent here, but who is running the White House? I think it's Stephen Miller, and he's kind of boxed H get out of things, which makes sense considering he's a war criminal. But Adam Schiff broke more of that down right here.
I think it's important to remember that all of this campaign, this military campaign, is unlawful, unconstitutional. Congress has not authorized these actions. There's no imminent threat of invasion or attack from Venezuela. So all of this is unlawful. But if there was an order to deliberately kill these 2 survivors, that moves unlawful, unconstitutional into the realm of war crimes. And it was interesting watching that press conference with the president and Hegseth, where he appears to read carefully worded language along the lines of the admiral took action to destroy the ship and eliminate the threat. And I think the reason he worded it that way, the reason probably lawyers told him to word it that way, is they want to, I think, try to distinguish, oh no, they weren't trying to kill the survivors, they were just trying to destroy the boat they were on. That's a very flimsy read, I think, to try to hang their hat on. If indeed Hegseth ordered for all these people to be killed, and the admiral acted on that order, whether Hegseth was in the room or he wasn't in the room, and I think you're right to be entirely skeptical of any claim Hegseth makes about what he knew or didn't know. But if he gave the order to kill everyone, then he is responsible for the killing of those survivors and a potential war crime. I think the only way we get to the bottom of this is by analyzing the video, audio if it exists, but also having the admiral testify and others who were present testify so that we can hear firsthand what did they see, what did they know, what were the orders, what action did they take.
Well, we just heard Roger Wicker, the Senate Armed Services Committee chairman, say in no uncertain terms that he and the committee are going to see every bit of video and they're going to hear every bit of audio. He's determined to get all of that evidence, and he does have the power to do that.
He certainly has the power to do it, and I hope that he will. I think he seems very serious about it, and I know Roger. I think he's determined. Will the administration provide it? Will they need to somehow subpoena it? Are they willing to go to the mat to fight the administration for that? Are they going to go beyond privately interviewing the admiral? Will they conduct a public hearing? Will they allow the public to see the video and audio so that it's not described to us by third parties? There's a lot of variation in what kind of oversight, how rigorous it can be. If it's going to enjoy the public confidence, I think it has to be done out in the open. And I hope on a bipartisan basis that they will persevere and insist on public hearings and public disclosure of all the evidence.
Hegseth is a war criminal, and he must be prosecuted and held accountable. Full stop. There's really not much more that needs to be said. Every Democrat should take that position publicly. No conditions, no exceptions. It's long past time for this administration, stacked with people who've spent their entire lives dodging consequences, to finally learn what accountability actually means. And we're going to talk about that on this show every single day. If you want to support that, hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and if you made it all the way to the end, leave a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.